Making your car look like a race car is always a fun exercise, but it doesn't often fully yield the results you have in your head. When an automaker does it, however, they have the tools and understand how to pull it off properly, at least some of the time. One of those times is right now, because Audi has created a limited edition version of its superwagon that pays homage to the glory days of the IMSA GT racing series. One of the great icons of that era is the Audi 90 GTO. It may not have won the big title, but it definitely blew people's minds back in 1989. Applying this look to a modern superwagon is blowing my mind. Here's a quick recap on why the 90 GTO race car is such a monster. In 1989, Audi wanted to battle in the IMSA Camel GT racing series. This was dominated by Nissan 300ZXs and Mercury Cougars, but Audi built a true monster to try and compete. The 90 GTO is basically a space frame wearing the skin of an Audi 90 on top of it. And that skin has been given the super wide body treatment. There's a massive exhaust poking out the passenger side, which is dumping the noise from the 2.2-liter turbocharged inline 5-cylinder engine. Total power output, around 720 horsepower. And of course, the 90 GTO used quattro all-wheel drive. On top of that, the car only weighs around 2,600 pounds. Still, despite that awesomeness, Audi missed the season's first two races, then suffered some teething issues, but the motorsport team figured things out, and driver Hans Stuck started kicking serious butt. He wound up winning 7 of the 15 GTO class races that year. In the final race of the season, the car didn't finish and left Stuck just 2 points away from winning the whole season, and Audi didn't win the manufacturer's title. But the car left an impression, that's for sure. Now, decades later, Audi is using a wagon to celebrate one of its own icons. Mind you, this is a wagon that has 621 horsepower on tap and should run from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds or less. The 2025 Audi RS6 Avant GT wears a red, white, black, and gray livery scheme designed to look like a modern take on the old school cool of the 90 GTO. The grille, front splitter, front fenders, and hood are new, and the fenders and hood are actually carbon fiber. Take another look at the fenders too, because they feature a very cool wide-body-esque styling with rear cutouts that help with cooling the brakes. The sport diff out back is standard and is a version specific to the Avant GT, which means it's tuned a little bit more aggressively. Out back, a very cool spoiler treatment has a double wing, just like the original race car. Further, the Avant GT sits lower thanks to adjustable coilovers, and you have a set of 22-inch wheels, here finished in white to match the Arcana white paintwork. You can also spec the car in either Nardo Gray or Mythos Black, but those versions get black wheels. On the inside, there's plenty of red and copper stitching. There's also a healthy dose of carbon fiber, including on the front seats, which are Avant GT specific carbon buckets. This is a limited run machine with just 660 examples to be built. Of that run, only 85 are bound for the States. Canada, you're only getting 7. Owing to how special this car is to Audi, it's not finished on the standard production line either. These are put together by hand in the same place Audi builds R8s and RS e-tron GTs. A limited edition special superwagon like this certainly won't be cheap. Audi hasn't given us US specific pricing yet, but the equivalent pricing in Germany is north of $230,000. Seeing as this is basically a hand-finished supercar with room for your whole family to come along while also displaying race car style bodywork, that price isn't that shocking. It's a lot, but this thing is pretty awesome.